The shuttle is a multi-purpose vehicle that was planned to be a space truck. We've experimented with it in a wide range of ways. It's the most adaptable spacecraft ever created. It has been used to launch satellites. It's been used to repair satellites in orbit and re-enter them. It has been used to grab satellites and return them to Earth for repair.
Liverpool University is among the top 1% of institutions worldwide, thanks to its excellence in teaching, learning, and research, first-class facilities, and great support. It is located in the center of two world-famous cities, Liverpool and London. In a diverse international community, the University of Liverpool will provide you with an inspiring student experience.
Chasing the flame achieves its greatest impact by watching the intertwinings of success and failure. It reveals the perils of international politics and details a complicated conflict between individual and institution with piercing insight and rigorous logic. It reminds us that no matter how brilliant a guy is, he can only do so much to change the world.
When the International Astronomical Union shrunk the solar system from 9 to 8 planets yesterday, Pluto lost its formal status as a planet. Although there had been a heated debate at the IAU General Assembly meeting in Prague regarding what constitutes a planet and whether Pluto fit the criteria, the audience applauded the decision to omit it.
The Conference Board's Consumer Confidence Index, which gauges both current and future expectations among American consumers, has risen to its highest level since 2001. The economy grew by 1.6% year-over-year in 2016, the slowest rate in 5 years, according to updated numbers from the Commerce Department. However, growth increased up to 1.9% in the fourth quarter.
The left and right hemispheres of the brain are separated into two halves. Each hemisphere has a unique collection of capabilities, actions, and controls. The right hemisphere of the brain is known as the creative side, while the left hemisphere is known as the rational or analytical side.
I expect a long and stagnant debate for a week or two on this issue. I expect a long and stagnant debate for a week or two on this issue.
Our tutorial will take place on the second floor in room 1. Our tutorial will take place on the second floor in room 1.
Fishing is a sport and a means for survival. Fishing is a sport and a means for survival.
The website has probably the most attractive designs and layouts. The website has probably the most attractive designs and layouts.
Please do not bring food into the classroom. Please do not bring food into the classroom.
We are delighted to have Professor Robert to join our faculty. We are delighted to have Professor Robert to join our faculty.
She had a great exhibition last year. She had a great exhibition last year.
Acupuncture is a technique involved in traditional Chinese medicine. Acupuncture is a technique involved in traditional Chinese medicine.
It is good for the environment, also good for your electricity bill. It is good for the environment, also good for your electricity bill.
Tuesday sessions will last for approximately 2 hours. Tuesday sessions will last for approximately 2 hours.
The population density of the world is shown in the graph below. Asia, Africa, America, and Europe are among the goods. The values of Central Europe and some eastern regions of the United States are approximately 350 persons per square kilometer, as you can see from the graph. This graph shows that the coastal regions of North Africa, Southeast Asia, and Turkey have values that are higher, approximately 400. This graph demonstrates that eastern China and India have the highest population density, around 700 people per square kilometer. This graph shows that the values for the Antarctic, northern Russia, and Australia's interior are all close to zero, which is the lowest. This graph is really informative. To sum it up,
The graph that follows provides details on how to find employment. It demonstrates the procedure in action. Resume, interview, and employment are the steps. This graph suggests that the first stage is to hunt for information about jobs that are desired. The next step is to submit a resume after that. This graph demonstrates that the third stage is to conduct an interview. This graph also shows that getting the job after passing the interview is the last stage. This graph is really informative. To sum it up,
Information regarding total health is provided in the graph below. It demonstrates the procedure in action. Diet and nutrition, exercise, and stress management are among the steps. The first step to achieving health and well-being, according to this graph, is through nutrition and eating. This graph indicates that the second step to affecting change is through fitness and exercise. The last phase is to achieve motivation through stress and relaxation management. Finally, the procedure will be repeated.
From 1500 to 2000, the graph displays the main ways of transportation. From 1500 to 1850, transportation relied on horse-drawn carriages, bicycles, etc. with an average speed of 15 miles per hour, as seen in the graph. After 1850, people began using locomotives, which moved at an average speed of 75 miles per hour, before the vehicle replaced it as the primary form of transportation in modern society. In conclusion, main modes of transportation will have changed in 500 years. There are thus two hypotheses as to how the gas giants emerged. One is the same hypothesis of core accretion that I just demonstrated to you. It's unclear exactly how they formed, but you're right, that's what we're trying to do. The reason we're trying to get the higher and higher pressure in the lab is because we're trying to understand more about the pressure inside the gas giants. The other is known as disk instability, and one of our colleagues at DTM has done a lot of work on that. It is believed that the gas giants also possess a metallic core, however it may not be comprised of iron. At a particular pressure, hydrogen, for instance, turns metallic. Therefore, it is quite likely that these planets' interiors contain metallic cores, hydrogen cores, or rocky regions about which we are uncertain. the closer we can understand the interiors of the enormous exoplanets and gas giants, however, the higher pressure we can get in the laboratory.
When Mexico cried out for assistance in 1943 because it couldn't feed its expanding people, the Green Revolution got its start. The International Rice Research Institute was established by the Ford and Rockefeller Foundations in Asia within a few years, and by 1962, a new variety of rice known as IR8 was being grown and consumed worldwide. The first significantly large modified crop to have a significant effect on world hunger was IR8. Since it was not yet possible to directly alter a plant's genes in 1962, IR8 was developed by carefully crossing existing types, choosing the best individuals from each generation, altering them further, and then selecting the best. Here is how modified crops can be powerful. The yield of IR8 was 5 times more than that of conventional rice types when grown without fertilizer and right out of the box. It produced 10 times the yield of conventional types under ideal nitrogen conditions. By 1980, IR36 was pest-resistant and expanding quickly enough to support 2 crops a year as opposed to only 1, increasing the yield. And by 1990, IR72 was outperforming even IR36 because to more sophisticated genetic engineering methods. From 1960 to 2000, the Green Revolution caused an explosion in crop production all throughout the world.
What do we call a horse-like animal with a single horn on the head? What do we call a horse-like animal with a single horn on the head?
What do we call a person who is waiting for doing something? What do we call a person who is waiting for doing something?
What do we call a dream that is very frightening or unpleasant? What do we call a dream that is very frightening or unpleasant?
What does subterranean mean? What does subterranean mean?
How do butterflies fly? How do butterflies fly?
What will you hear after a flash of lightning? What will you hear after a flash of lightning?
If you like our video, kindly subscribe our channel and also press below bell icon. Thank you.